The formation of Earth's oceans began approximately 4 billion years ago. Earth's oceans are believed to have formed about 4 billion years ago. At that time, Earth was extremely hot, and volcanic activity was intense. Volcanic eruptions released massive amounts of water vapor into the atmosphere, which then cooled and fell as rain. This rain continued for millions of years, eventually accumulating to form the oceans. Another theory suggests that comets and meteorites containing ice collided with Earth, and the melted ice contributed to the formation of the oceans. Interestingly, the total amount of water on Earth today has remained almost unchanged since the oceans were formed. This means that the water we use today has been present on Earth for 4 billion years, making the oceans a living record of Earth's long history. Oceans produce more than half of the Earth's oxygen. While forests are often referred to as the lungs of the Earth, it is actually the oceans that produce more than half of the oxygen we breathe. This oxygen is primarily produced by phytoplankton, microscopic organisms that perform photosynthesis in the ocean. Phytoplankton absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, playing a crucial role in maintaining the Earth's ecosystem balance. However, due to rising sea temperatures and ocean pollution, the number of phytoplankton is decreasing. If this decline continues, the Earth's oxygen supply could be severely affected. Protecting the oceans is essential not only for marine life, but also for ensuring the air we breathe remains rich in oxygen. The ocean floor is home to countless undiscovered species. Although oceans cover about 70% of the Earth's surface, more than 95% of them remain unexplored. The ocean floor, especially the deep sea, is believed to harbor countless undiscovered species. The deep sea is a harsh environment with extreme darkness, low temperatures, and immense pressure. Despite these conditions, many unique creatures have adapted to live there. For example, the barrel-eye fish has a transparent head through which its brain is visible. Many deep-sea creatures also exhibit bioluminescence, meaning they can produce their own light to attract prey or evade predators. The discovery of these creatures provides valuable insights into the mysteries of evolution and life on Earth. The mechanism of optical communication and its future potential, fiber optic communication, utilizes the total internal reflection of light to transmit information at high speeds over long distances. In this technology, light is modulated into digital signals, which travel through optical fibers without leaking or degrading. This minimizes electromagnetic interference and preserves signal quality. Applications include internet connections, undersea cables, and medical endoscopes, forming the backbone of modern information networks. Emerging technologies such as quantum communication and optical computing are also being explored, indicating that the potential of light-based communication is boundless. Roman concrete technology and its durability. The Romans revolutionized construction with their use of concrete, which forms the foundation of many ancient structures still standing today. Their concrete, made with volcanic ash, had the unique ability to grow stronger when exposed to seawater. This innovation enabled the construction of landmarks like the Colosseum and the Pantheon, which have withstood over 2,000 years. In contrast, civilizations like the Egyptians relied on stacking massive stone blocks, lacking the Romans' ability to create complex arches and domes. This makes Roman construction techniques particularly innovative and enduring. Octopuses have extraordinary camouflage abilities. Octopuses can change their color and texture almost instantly to blend into their surroundings. This is achieved through specialized skin cells called chromatophores, which expand or contract to display various colors. Additionally, octopuses can alter the texture of their skin to mimic the roughness of rocks or sand. Their camouflage abilities not only help them evade predators, but also allow them to ambush prey. Compared to animals like chameleons or flounders, octopuses excel in both the speed and variety of their transformations. Scientists are studying this remarkable ability to develop new technologies, such as advanced camouflage materials or artificial skin. The record for the fastest goal in soccer history. The record for the fastest goal in an official soccer match is held by Nawaf Al-Abed of Saudi Arabia, who scored just 2 seconds after kickoff in 2002. The ball was launched directly toward the opposing goal from the center spot, catching the goalkeeper off guard and finding the back of the net. In unofficial matches, there are reports of even faster goals. For example, in the 1960s, an amateur game in England allegedly saw a goal scored within 1 second of kickoff. However, there is no verifiable evidence of this claim. These records underscore the importance of focus and preparedness right from the start of a match. Biotechnological applications of E. coli. E. coli plays a pivotal role in biotechnology across medical and industrial fields. Using genetic engineering, scientists can incorporate human genes into E. coli, enabling the bacterium to produce pharmaceuticals, enzymes, and even biodegradable plastics. A notable example is the production of synthetic insulin. In the 1980s, the development of E. coli-based insulin production revolutionized diabetes care by ensuring a stable supply of this life-saving drug. Additionally, E. coli contributes to environmental sustainability by breaking down pollutants in the development of bioremediation technologies. These applications highlight E. coli's significance beyond research, showcasing its transformative impact on technology and daily life. The crystalline structure of salt and its uses. The crystalline structure of salt affects how it dissolves, feels, and looks. Fine-grained salt dissolves easily and distributes evenly, making it ideal for baking and desserts. Coarse salt adds texture and flavor to grilled meats and fish. Flake salt is often used as a finishing salt, providing a crunchy texture and visual accent to dishes. The color of salt can also influence its use, such as black salt with its smoky flavor, often used in ethnic cuisines. By understanding the differences in crystal shapes and sizes, you can optimize your use of salt for various culinary purposes. Cat's third eyelid. Cats have a third eyelid, known as the nictitating membrane, which is usually hidden at the inner corner of their eyes. It acts as an extra layer of protection, shielding their eyes from dust and debris while also keeping the surface moist. This membrane can become visible when a cat is tired, stressed, or unwell. In healthy cats, it typically stays out of sight, so if it becomes noticeable, it might be a sign to consult a veterinarian. Mercury's magnetic field is strongly affected by solar winds. Like Earth, Mercury has a magnetic field, but it is significantly weaker, at only about 1% the strength of Earth's. However, its proximity to the sun exposes it to intense solar winds, which strongly influence its magnetic environment. The interaction between Mercury's magnetic field and the solar wind creates a dynamic region called the magnetosphere. Mercury's magnetosphere is highly active, with its shape and energy levels constantly changing due to the influence of the solar wind. This interaction channels particles from the solar wind directly onto Mercury's surface, contributing to the formation and maintenance of its thin exosphere. While the process is somewhat similar to how Earth's magnetic field causes auroras, Mercury does not display visible light phenomena like auroras. Studying Mercury's magnetosphere and its interaction with solar wind helps scientists understand how planets in extreme environments interact with space weather. Proper maintenance to extend the life of a frying pan. Proper care is essential for prolonging the life of a frying pan. Non-stick pans should be used on medium or low heat and cleaned with non-abrasive sponges to prevent coating damage. Avoid using metal utensils, opting instead for silicone or wooden tools. Cast iron pans should be washed with water and scrubbed without detergent, then seasoned with oil to prevent rust. Allow the pan to cool before washing to avoid thermal shock. By following these steps, a frying pan's lifespan can extend from a few years to decades. Uranium is an ancient remnant of the early universe. Uranium is one of the heaviest naturally occurring elements and was formed billions of years ago in distant stars. Small amounts of uranium are found in Earth's crust, where it continues to undergo nuclear decay and release energy. This property is harnessed for nuclear power generation and medical radiation therapy. However, uranium is radioactive and must be handled with care. Interestingly, the decay of uranium also produces radon gas, which in some regions poses health risks. How organisms use light beyond photosynthesis. Light utilization is not limited to plants. Some bacteria possess a light-sensitive protein called rhodopsin, which directly converts light energy into usable energy for cellular processes. Additionally, certain animals exhibit phototaxis, a behavior where they sense and move toward or away from light. Some jellyfish use bioluminescence to confuse predators or attract prey. These diverse mechanisms for utilizing light offer valuable insights into the adaptive strategies of organisms within ecosystems. Tuna in sport fishing. Tuna is not only a prized food source, but also a popular target in sport fishing. The ultimate game. Fish tuna, especially bluefin and yellowfin tuna, are considered trophies in sport fishing, known for their size, speed, and strength. These fish are highly sought after in regions such as the United States, Australia, and Mediterranean countries. Catching a tuna requires significant skill and endurance, making it a dream challenge for anglers. Record-breaking tuna. In 2012, an Atlantic bluefin tuna weighing 678 kilograms was caught in Canada, setting a record and highlighting the sheer size and strength of these incredible fish. For instance, catch-and-release sport fishing has become a popular ecotourism activity in the Mediterranean and Atlantic regions, promoting environmental awareness while providing an exciting recreational experience. Bees regulate the hive environment using pheromones. Bees use pheromones to manage conditions within the hive. For example, the queen bee releases specific queen pheromones that suppress the reproductive behavior of worker bees and maintain order in the hive. Worker bees also exchange pheromones to share information about the growth stages of larvae or airflow within the hive. Furthermore, stabilizing pheromones secreted by worker bees help reassure larvae of a safe environment. This chemical communication system is essential for the hive's organized functioning. Volcanoes and long-term climate change. Volcanoes impact not only short-term climate fluctuations, but also long-term global climate. For instance, massive volcanic activity during the Siberian TRAPS event millions of years ago released enormous amounts of carbon dioxide, leading to global warming. This phenomenon is thought to be one of the causes of the Permian-Triassic mass extinction. Volcanic activity has played a crucial role in shaping the Earth's evolution. The frequency of shedding and environmental factors. The frequency of snake shedding depends on factors such as age, growth rate, and environmental conditions. Young snakes grow rapidly and shed frequently, sometimes more than 10 times a year. In contrast, adult snakes grow more slowly and shed less often, typically a few times a year. Shedding is also influenced by humidity levels. If the environment is too dry, incomplete shedding, known as disecdysis, can occur, leaving old skin around the snake's eyes or tail. In the wild, snakes resolve this by soaking in water or rubbing against rocks to remove the remaining skin. In captivity, proper humidity management is crucial to ensure healthy shedding. Oil paints. Once contained toxic pigments. Historically, oil paints included pigments made from hazardous substances like lead, cadmium, and arsenic. For example, lead white was prized for its brightness, but posed significant health risks with prolonged exposure. Similarly, cadmium-based pigments like cadmium red and cadmium yellow offered vibrant colors, but required careful handling due to their toxicity. Today, safer synthetic pigments have largely replaced these hazardous materials, making oil paints more accessible and less risky. However, some artists still opt for traditional pigments to achieve their unique color and texture characteristics. The choice between modern safe pigments and traditional toxic ones often depends on the artist's preference for authenticity and aesthetic quality. Elephant's dung plays a vital role in ecosystems. Elephant's dung is rich in undigested seeds, which helps disperse plant species across vast areas. As they travel, they deposit these seeds, enabling forests and grasslands to regenerate. Additionally, their dung provides food for insects and small animals, enriching the soil and supporting diverse ecosystems. Other animals, like birds, also disperse seeds, but elephants' sheer size and mobility allow them to cover much larger areas. Cattle manure enriches soil locally, but it lacks the same ecological impact as elephants' contributions. Elephants play a pivotal role as ecosystem engineers, shaping the environments they inhabit. Avocados are a low-sugar fruit. While classified as a fruit, Avocados have an exceptionally low sugar content. They contain about 0.7 grams of sugar per 100 grams, significantly less than bananas, about 12 grams, or apples, about 10 grams. This makes avocados an ideal fruit for individuals following a low-carb diet or managing diabetes. Additionally, the dietary fiber in avocados slows the absorption of sugar, helping to stabilize blood sugar levels and support overall metabolic health. The surprising power of volcanic gases. Volcanoes release large amounts of gases like carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide during eruptions. While these gases can be dangerous, they also play an important role in shaping Earth's atmosphere and climate. For example, carbon dioxide released by volcanic activity has influenced climate change over millennia and contributed to the evolution of life. Sulfate aerosols from eruptions reflect sunlight and can temporarily cool the Earth's surface, highlighting the complex impact of volcanic gases. More muscle mass leads to stronger bones. The force exerted by muscles pulling on bones acts as a crucial stimulus for strengthening bones. When this force is applied, it triggers bone cells to increase bone density. Resistance training and weightlifting, in particular, benefit not only muscle growth, but also bone health. For example, muscle training is recommended to prevent osteoporosis as people age. Studies have shown that individuals with greater muscle mass tend to have stronger bones and a lower risk of fractures, illustrating the symbiotic relationship between muscles and bones. The origins of basketball and its early rules. Basketball was invented in 1891 by Dr. James Naismith, who established 13 original rules for the game. These rules included principles such as players cannot run while holding the ball, pushing or striking opponents is prohibited, and after a goal is scored, the ball is to be put back into play from the starting point. Initially, games were played with 9 players on each team, and dribbling was not part of the game. Naismith used a peach basket nailed to the wall as the first goal and a soccer ball for the initial matches. Remarkably, basketball was conceived and organized within just 2 weeks as an indoor activity to engage students during the cold winter months. Avocados are difficult to self-pollinate. Avocado trees have a unique flowering structure that makes self-pollination challenging. The flowers have male and female functions, but they open at different times, reducing the likelihood of pollination within the same tree. To address this, avocado farmers often plant different varieties nearby to increase the chances of successful cross-pollination. This feature promotes biodiversity in nature but requires careful management in agricultural production. Dogs can form friendships with other species. Dogs are known for their social nature, and this extends beyond just humans and other dogs. They can form bonds with various animals, including cats, birds, horses, and even wildlife like ducks or deer. Some dogs develop special relationships with animals they meet frequently, showing signs of playfulness, grooming, and even mutual protection. These cross-species friendships demonstrate dogs' adaptability and empathy, as they're able to interact peacefully with many different animals. Salt's impact on taste perception. Salt not only enhances the flavor of food, but also affects how we perceive tastes on our tongue. Salt accentuates sweetness and suppresses bitterness. For instance, sprinkling a small amount of salt on watermelon makes it taste sweeter. Similarly, adding salt to chocolate or caramel creates a more complex and satisfying flavor profile. In this way, salt plays a crucial role as a flavor balancer and taste enhancer. Refrigerator lifespan and when to replace it. The typical lifespan of a refrigerator is around 10 to 15 years. However, older refrigerators are less energy efficient than newer models, often resulting in higher electricity bills. Additionally, as a refrigerator ages, its cooling performance can decline, impacting the preservation of food. If your refrigerator is over 10 years old, it's worth considering replacing it instead of repairing it. Modern refrigerators are significantly more energy efficient, helping to reduce electricity costs and environmental impact. Shooting form and scientific analysis. An accurate shooting form is essential for basketball players. Shooting mechanics involve multiple components, including arm movement, foot positioning, and the release point's height. Advances in motion capture technology and AI analysis now allow for detailed evaluations of players' shooting forms. This helps identify specific areas for improvement and enhances training effectiveness. Players like Stephen Curry and Ray Allen are renowned for their scientifically optimized shooting forms, which contribute to their exceptional shooting accuracy and consistency. Avocados come in various shapes and sizes. There are hundreds of avocado varieties, each differing in size, shape, and flavor. The most common variety is the Hass avocado, which is oval-shaped with dark green to black skin and creamy, rich flesh. Another popular variety, the Fuerte avocado, is larger, with smoother skin and a lighter taste. There are also region-specific varieties found in places like California and Peru, each with unique characteristics. This diversity adds to the versatility and global appeal of avocados. Yawning is contagious even among dogs and cats. The contagious nature of yawning has been observed not only in humans, but also in pets, like dogs and cats. Studies have shown that when a dog sees its owner yawn, it may yawn in response. This is because dogs possess the ability to empathize with human emotions and behaviors. They closely observe their owner's facial expressions and movements, reacting accordingly. Dogs also yawn contagiously within their groups as a way to strengthen social bonds. Cats, on the other hand, show less contagious yawning compared to dogs, but they may still mimic the yawns of familiar humans or other cats. This phenomenon highlights the empathetic abilities of animals and the deep connection between humans and pets. Volcanoes create volcanic glass. When lava cools rapidly during an eruption, it doesn't have time to crystallize, forming a unique material called volcanic glass. Obsidian is a well-known example and was used in ancient times for tools like knives and arrowheads. Even today, obsidian is used in decorative items and medical-grade surgical blades. Volcanic glass can be seen as a natural art form created by volcanic activity. Cyber-physical risks posed by space debris. Space debris poses not only physical risks, but also challenges in cybersecurity. A collision involving space debris and a satellite could disrupt ground-based communication systems and networks. This may lead to failures in essential infrastructure, such as banking transactions, traffic management, and military communications. Additionally, tracking data for space debris could become a target for cyber attacks, potentially hindering collision avoidance maneuvers. Addressing these multifaceted risks requires robust technical and security measures. The smell of oil paint has a purpose. The distinctive smell of oil paint and its solvents comes from the ingredients used, such as linseed oil and turpentine. Many artists associate this smell with the creative process, considering it an integral part of their working environment. However, these solvents are highly volatile and can impact health with prolonged exposure. In recent years, odorless solvents and safer alternatives have been developed, improving the working environment for artists who are sensitive to traditional materials. The match played in torrential rain. In 1968, during a game in Italy, a sudden downpour turned the pitch into a virtual pond, making it impossible for the ball to roll. Players had to adapt by carrying the ball through puddles rather than kicking it. Spectators were amused by the unusual situation, which resulted in comical and unorthodox gameplay. Although the match was eventually abandoned in the second half, this water soccer game remains a legendary story of resilience and improvisation in extreme conditions. The impact of space debris on space tourism and exploration missions. The presence of space debris poses significant challenges for commercial space tourism and exploration missions. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin must carefully plan flight routes to avoid debris collisions during space tourism missions. Similarly, exploration missions to Mars or the Moon face potential obstacles from debris when passing through Earth's orbital zones. These risks increase the cost and complexity of space missions, presenting additional challenges for the growing space industry. Octopuses display complex social behaviors in certain situations. Although octopuses are typically solitary creatures, they can exhibit complex social behaviors under specific conditions. For example, in a site off the coast of Australia known as Octopolis, or Octopus City, multiple octopuses have been observed coexisting, interacting, and even touching one another. During mating or territorial disputes, octopuses use gestures and changes in body color to communicate their intentions. These behaviors demonstrate that while octopuses are generally independent, they can exhibit social tendencies when necessary, showing an unexpected level of adaptability. Yawning as an evolutionary safety check mechanism. From an evolutionary perspective, yawning may have served as a safety check mechanism within groups. In ancient times, human and animal groups faced constant threats from predators. When one member yawned, it could signal others in the group to become more alert and check their surroundings for danger. This synchronized behavior would help the group stay vigilant and improve their chances of survival. Yawning tends to spread through a group before sleep or immediately after waking up, which may be a remnant of this safety check behavior. Even today, people tend to become more aware of their surroundings after yawning, suggesting that it may be a remnant of an ancient survival instinct. The longest soccer match in history. In 1946, a charity soccer match in Hampshire, England, earned the title of the longest soccer match ever played, lasting an incredible 3 hours and 30 minutes. This match was organized between local workers' teams to raise funds for a community cause. Unlike modern rules, which include penalty shootouts to resolve ties, this game followed a play until there's a winner format. Multiple periods of extra time were added, as neither team could secure victory within the usual 90 minutes, or even the first few extensions. The match finally ended with a score of 5-3. By the end, players were so exhausted that some reportedly needed several days of recovery. Spectators, moved by the perseverance of the teams, donated generously. Today, such prolonged matches are prohibited due to concerns for players' health. This extraordinary game remains a legendary moment in soccer history, symbolizing human endurance and community spirit. The soccer match interrupted by a power outage. In 1987, during a match between Chelsea and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge in England, the entire stadium was plunged into darkness due to a sudden power outage. At the time, stadium lighting systems were not as reliable as they are today, and technical issues like this were relatively common. The blackout lasted about 20 minutes, during which players and spectators patiently waited for the lights to return. When power was restored, the crowd pinched in applause, and the match resumed. Today, most stadiums are equipped with backup generators, making such interruptions a rare occurrence in modern soccer. Best ways to store tomatoes for longer freshness. To keep tomatoes fresh, it's best to store them at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. Refrigerating tomatoes can cause them to lose flavor and become mealy in texture. However, if you need to store them for a longer period, you can refrigerate them, but it's advisable to let them return to room temperature before eating for the best flavor. If you have overripe tomatoes and need to store them for later use, freezing is an option. While freezing changes the texture slightly, frozen tomatoes are great for sauces, soups, and stews, where their flavor can shine. A partially filled fridge is more efficient. Overloading the refrigerator can block air circulation, reducing cooling efficiency. On the other hand, keeping it too empty can cause the refrigerator to overwork and consume more energy. The ideal balance is to keep the fridge about 70% full. This allows for optimal cooling performance while preserving the freshness of the stored food. The Aegean civilization and the Minoan culture of Crete. The Minoan civilization, part of the broader Aegean civilization, flourished on Crete around 2000 BCE. It is known for its grand palace architecture, such as the labyrinth-like Palace of Knossos, which inspired the myth of the Minotaur. The Minoans also developed the undeciphered Linear A script and were skilled maritime traders, exerting influence across the Mediterranean. Unlike Egypt and Mesopotamia, which emphasized monumental construction and centralized power, the Minoans focused more on trade and cultural exchange, setting them apart as a relatively peaceful and commerce-driven civilization. Salt's role as an electrolyte and its effects on the body. The sodium in salt functions as an essential electrolyte in the body, helping regulate osmotic pressure between cells and supporting nerve signal transmission and muscle contractions. This is especially important during physical activity or in hot climates where electrolytes are lost through sweat. However, excessive sodium intake can lead to increased blood pressure and kidney strain. Maintaining an appropriate balance of salt intake is vital for supporting electrolyte functions and overall health. Differences between NBA and FIBA rules and their significance. The NBA and FIBA, International Basketball Federation, have notable rule differences. In the NBA, zone defense is allowed, but there is a defensive 3-second rule, which prevents defenders from staying in the paint for too long, maintaining the game's dynamic flow. In FIBA games, zone defense is more freely utilized, offering broader tactical options. Additionally, NBA courts are wider, and the three-point line is farther from the basket compared to FIBA courts. These differences reflect the NBA's focus on entertainment and individual skill, while FIBA emphasizes teamwork and strategic play. These variations shape the gameplay and influence how players and teams approach competitions in different leagues. The tongue is often considered the strongest muscle. The tongue is frequently cited as the strongest muscle in the human body. It is incredibly flexible and powerful, supporting essential functions such as chewing, swallowing, and speaking. Structurally, the tongue consists of multiple interwoven muscles, allowing it to move in various directions with great precision and force. However, the title of the strongest muscle depends on the criteria used. For example, the chewing muscles, masseter, are highly powerful for crushing tough foods, while the gluteus maximus, buttock muscles, provide significant strength for supporting and moving the body. Each of these muscles plays a crucial role depending on the activity. Octopuses are known as ecosystem engineers. Octopuses are often referred to as ecosystem engineers because their behaviors significantly influence their surroundings. For instance, rocks and shells moved by octopuses while hunting can create new shelters for smaller marine organisms. Additionally, the food remnants and waste left behind by octopuses enrich the seafloor with nutrients, promoting the growth of microorganisms and plants. Through these activities, octopuses directly and indirectly impact numerous marine species, playing a crucial role in supporting the balance of the ecosystem. Oil painting is not limited to layering. It can be done in one sitting. While oil painting is often associated with the method of layering, it can also be done in a single session using a technique called alla prima. This wet-on-wet approach involves completing a painting before the paint dries, resulting in spontaneous and lively brushwork. Impressionist painters frequently use this technique to capture fleeting moments of light and movement. For instance, Monet's landscapes and Van Gogh's sunflowers are iconic examples of this method, where immediacy and boldness take center stage. Certain breeds are natural talkers. While most dogs bark or whine, some breeds, such as Siberian Huskies and Alaskan Malamutes, are known for making sounds that resemble human speech. Huskies, in particular, produce a variety of sounds that many owners describe as talking, which includes howls, groans, and even sounds that mimic words. This vocal behavior likely developed as a way for these breeds to communicate within packs in the Arctic, where they would howl and talk to communicate over long distances. This talkative trait makes them particularly charming, but can also be a challenge for owners looking for a quieter dog. Dogs helped indigenous Arctic peoples thrive in harsh climates. For indigenous Arctic communities like the Inuit, dogs were essential partners in survival. Arctic sled dogs, such as the ancestors of the Siberian Husky and Alaskan Malamute, helped transport supplies, hunt for food, and navigate the icy terrain. Their resilience in extreme cold, coupled with their ability to pull heavy sleds over long distances, made dogs critical to daily life in Arctic regions. This partnership between humans and sled dogs dates back at least 9,000 years and continues in some Arctic communities today. The invention of nonstick frying pans and their impact. Nonstick frying pans revolutionized cooking in the mid-20th century. The invention of Teflon, a high-heat resistant and nonstick polymer, was an accidental discovery by American chemist Roy Plunkett in 1938. Teflon was applied to frying pans in 1954, making it easier to cook sticky foods like eggs and fish. This innovation significantly reduced the difficulty of cooking and cleaning pans. Early non-stick coatings were prone to damage from high heat and metal utensils, but modern advancements, such as ceramic or diamond coatings, have improved durability and heat resistance. The relationship between carrot sweetness and soil conditions. The sweetness of carrots is significantly influenced by the quality of the soil in which they are grown. Nutrient-rich and moderately soft soils are ideal for cultivating sweet carrots. Sandy soils with good drainage allow the roots to grow smoothly with minimal stress, resulting in higher sugar content. Conversely, heavy clay soils can compress the roots, causing them to grow misshapen and reducing their sweetness. Additionally, the balance of minerals and organic matter in the soil affects the flavor of the carrots. For farmers aiming to grow sweeter carrots, improving soil quality is an essential step. The sweetness of carrots varies by variety and growing conditions. The sweetness of carrots is influenced by their variety and growing environment. The primary components of carrot sweetness are sugars such as sucrose, glucose, and fructose, which vary in proportion between different carrot types. Additionally, carrots grown in colder climates tend to be sweeter, especially when exposed to frost, which increases their sugar content. This phenomenon, known as cold sweetening, is why carrots from regions like Hokkaido in Japan or Northern Europe are renowned for their sweetness. Harvest timing and post-harvest storage methods also affect the flavor, with carrots being most flavorful when consumed fresh and in season. The Code of Hammurabi and Ancient Legal Systems. The Code of Hammurabi, compiled by the Babylonian king Hammurabi in the 18th century BCE, is one of the oldest known written legal codes. It introduced the principle of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, enforcing strict rules to maintain social order. The code covered various aspects of life, from trade regulations to family matters, reflecting a highly organized society. In contrast, during the same period, Egypt's laws were less codified and instead relied on the absolute authority of the pharaoh. This highlights the advanced nature of Babylon's structured legal system. Avocados, are a versatile ingredient in both sweet and savory dishes. Avocados are one of the rare fruits that work equally well in savory and sweet dishes. They are widely used in recipes like toast, salads, and guacamole, but can also be incorporated into smoothies, ice creams, and desserts. Their creamy texture and subtle nutty flavor complement various cuisines and dietary preferences. Unlike many fruits, avocados' adaptability makes them a staple for health-conscious cooks looking to create balanced and flavorful meals. Bees' personalities influence their roles in the hive. Individual bees have distinct personalities and behavioral tendencies which influence their roles within the colony. For example, adventurous bees often take on the role of scouts, exploring new food sources, while more cautious bees focus on hive maintenance or utilizing known resources. This diversity in personalities enhances the flexibility and efficiency of the colony, providing an evolutionary advantage by allowing the hive to adapt to various challenges. The evolution of basketball shoes and their impact. Basketball shoes are a critical factor in player performance and safety. Early basketball shoes were simple canvas designs, but modern shoes incorporate lightweight, durable materials with improved cushioning and grip. Customization is also possible, tailoring shoes to a player's style. For example, guards may opt for lightweight shoes for speed, while centers often use shoes with enhanced cushioning for better support during jumps. Signature models endorsed by NBA players are immensely popular among fans and influence sports fashion trends. These advancements in basketball footwear have significantly contributed to player performance and market growth. The player who caught the ball. Mid-play. In one match, a player made a very unusual play by catching the ball mid-flight during the game. After a powerful shot flew past the goalkeeper, the player, almost instinctively, reached up and grabbed the ball before it crossed the goal line. The match was temporarily halted as the referee reviewed the situation, but the player was given a warning for his unintentional action, and play resumed. This incident became a memorable moment, illustrating how unpredictable moments can impact the flow of the game and add to the unique charm of soccer. Picasso's blue period was triggered by a friend's death. Picasso's blue period, spanning from 1901 to 1904, is characterized by somber works dominated by cool blue tones. This phase was profoundly influenced by the suicide of his close friend, poet Carlos Casagemas, who took his own life after a failed romance. Deeply affected by this loss, Picasso shifted from using bright colors to darker, melancholic shades of blue. The themes of his work during this time often centered on poverty, isolation, and marginalized individuals, reflecting a strong empathy for society's outcasts. For example, in the painting La Vie, The Life, Picasso explores themes of mortality and despair. The blue period was a pivotal moment in Picasso's career, both emotionally and artistically, paving the way for his later Rose period and the revolutionary Cubist movement. Ants use symbiotic bacteria to prevent diseases. Ants have evolved a relationship with symbiotic bacteria that helps protect their colonies from diseases. For example, Some bacteria living on ants' bodies produce antimicrobial compounds that prevent the growth of harmful pathogens. Leafcutter ants take this relationship a step further. In their fungus-growing nests, they cultivate specific bacteria that produce natural antibiotics to combat mold and other fungal threats that could damage their food supply. By utilizing these beneficial bacteria, ants demonstrate a sophisticated strategy to maintain their health and ensure the survival of their colony. Dogs' memories are mostly associative. Dogs don't have episodic memory, which means they don't recall specific events in the way humans do. Instead, their memory works largely through association. For example, a dog might associate the sound of keys jingling with going outside, or the sight of a suitcase with an owner leaving for a trip. These associative memories help dogs navigate the world and respond to familiar cues, even if they don't remember the exact details of past events. Japan's group immunity strategy for influenza prevention. In Japan, influenza prevention focuses on promoting vaccinations for specific age groups to enhance group immunity and reduce the spread of the virus. Elderly people and children are particularly vulnerable to severe symptoms, so vaccinations are widely administered in schools, daycare centers, and community centers. This approach helps not only protect individuals, but also reduce the risk of outbreaks in entire communities. Japan's group vaccination efforts are unique, as many countries like the United States and those in Europe rely primarily on individual vaccinations. The community-wide infection control strategy in Japan has drawn attention globally. While vaccines cannot completely prevent infection, they are highly effective in reducing the severity of symptoms, making them a critical tool in influenza prevention. Dogs can detect human hormones, like adrenaline. Dogs are able to sense changes in our body chemistry, especially when we're stressed or scared. When a person feels fear or stress, their body releases adrenaline, which has a particular scent that dogs can pick up. This is why dogs often respond to humans in distress, offering comfort or becoming protective. Their ability to sense adrenaline and other hormones may explain why dogs can be such intuitive companions and even work effectively in roles like therapy or search and rescue. Oil paintings are highly restorable. One of the remarkable qualities of oil paintings is their ability to be restored even after centuries. Over time, colors may dull or cracks may form in the paint layers, but skilled conservators can use specialized techniques to restore these works to their original glory. For example, masterpieces from the Renaissance and Baroque periods can still be admired today, thanks to the durability of oil paint and the ability to repair and clean the layers. The thick and robust nature of oil paint allows for detailed restoration and ensures that these artworks can be preserved for future generations. Influenza viruses are sensitive to humidity. Influenza viruses have a shorter survival time in the air when humidity levels are high. When the humidity exceeds 60%, the virus becomes less likely to spread through droplets or the air. This is why the dry air of winter contributes to the spread of the virus. Using a humidifier to maintain indoor humidity is an effective way to prevent infection. Oil paint offers exceptional stability for pigments. Oil paints are known for their longevity and resistance to fading compared to other mediums. The oil in the paint encapsulates the pigments, protecting them from moisture and oxidation. This property explains why works by masters like Vermeer and Titian still display vibrant colors centuries after their creation. In contrast, watercolors and acrylic paints are more susceptible to fading over time, especially when exposed to light. Oil paint's ability to preserve colors ensures that artworks retain their original beauty for generations.